All right, welcome to Mr. D's class on how to put together and play a trombone for your very first time. I am Mr. D, and this is my student Zach. Welcome. So let's begin. Step 1, make sure your case is on the ground and open. You can't see that, but it is on the ground and open below us. Step 2, take out your trombone slide. That's the piece that looks like this. That's the one. You'll notice, first off, let's cover that. There is what's called a slide lock on the side right here, on the short side of your trombone slide. Make sure that you keep it locked while you are putting your instrument together. It will be perpendicular and at a 90-degree angle to the slide bars right now. As you can see, I can't open it. If you slide it in line with the other two crossbars, you can now open the outer and inner slide. This one's the outer that I'm currently moving. This one is the inner slide right here with the silver. Next, let's grab the bell. Now, if you can match your instrument with mine, we have the bell in the left hand. Let's switch those around, make it easier for later. The bell in the left hand and the slide in the right. We're going to take the small end of the bell, right here where my thumb is touching, and place it on the longer end that's open on the slide. Now watch out for that. The same thing. When we put these together, we don't want them parallel. We want them at a 90-degree angle. There we go. Much better. Now, you can lock this into place with the connecting nut right here. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
What's it called again?
Righty-tighty, lefty-loose.
No, the piece.
It's the nut that'll connect the two, the connecting nut. So if you tighten that up, your instrument will be secured. All one piece now. Notice how this slide is falling out. I want to hold on to that or place the slide lock in place.
So slide lock, connecting nut. This one's called the
bell.
This one's called the
slide.
What's this thingy?
Now this is the bottom. We're going to go over that later, but it is also known by most people as the spit valve or the water valve. To finish putting this together, let's grab our mouthpiece. And we're going to place that gently in the last remaining opening on the slide. You don't want to smack it into place because you're going to cause more problems for the teacher later with pulling it out.
Will it get stuck?
It will get stuck, and it'll be very troublesome. So all you want to do is it should just fall right into place. As you can see, I can just pull it in and out very easily. Good. We have assembled the trombone. Now, Zach, I'm so glad earlier that you ended up slamming your mouthpiece in because it leads into the next section of what good things and what bad things are for the trombone. So let's go with that first. Let's talk about the mouthpiece. Like we said, when we place it in, we want to make sure that it goes gently into place. If you are slamming it or making that nice little sound that sounds really cool, it immediately gets stuck a little bit more each time and gets really hard to get out. Eventually, you won't be able to get it out with your bare hands, so just be really careful that you don't do that. Instead, the proper technique is to just gently place it in and make sure that you can move it. Good. There we go.
Mine seems to dent pretty easily. Is that bad?
Denting on the bell may or may not happen. Of course, you don't want it to happen, but on the bell isn't the worst place for it to happen.
What about other places?
The worst place is if it happens on the slide for two reasons. One, it'll change your sound. But two, if it ever happens on the inner slide, you may get caught in certain places. So you want to be really careful when working with your slide to not dent it because you don't want your slide to get stuck because there's a dent in it somewhere and it's not circular.
Gotcha.
Yeah, good question though. All right, so let's lead into maintenance then of your instrument. First, we're going to talk about lubricating the slides on the trombone. So let's first make sure your slide lock is off. And let's carefully take the outer slide all the way off the instrument and gently place it on the ground with the water valve facing up. Good. We want the water valve up just in case someone happens to walk by it or something, and that way they don't have to twist anything. It's just flat on the ground, safest possible situation. The next thing we want is to take a dry cloth and wipe off all the excess residue that is currently on your slides. There you go. Good. Next up, we are going to use Slidomax today. Other forms of trombone lubricant are just as good. And all we're going to do is take one drop and put one nice droplet right on the end of each of the two slides. There you go. Now, be sure to just spread it around the end just a little bit so it kind of covers all the edges. You can use your finger for this, that's just fine. And next what we're going to do is we're going to use the outer slide to help spread the lubricant. So carefully pick it up, place both ends on. We want to make sure that the water slide, or the water lock on the outside, water valve, I've been messing that up 3 times now. Make sure that's on the outside of the instrument, and you'll know that your horn and your slide are in the right place.
I'm in trouble, Mr. D.
It's okay. Just be careful with it not to dent it. There we go. We're all set. Now to spread the lubricant, slowly just move your slide up and down, and that'll spread it naturally by itself.
So not fast?
You don't have to. Just slow is perfectly fine. Once you feel that it's kind of spreading around, you'll feel it. It's really loose, right? Very easy to maneuver. That's what we want to do. Great. And last but not least, a couple other things to talk about with maintenance. Every once a week or so, you want to make sure to wash your mouthpiece with some warm water just to get all the germs off of it and clean it out.
Do I use soap?
No, just use plain warm water. And last but not least, when you're done playing for a day, you want to make sure to empty the spit valve or the water valve. So you can do this by taking your right arm, opening it up, holding it, and then blowing out through the mouthpiece slowly. You'll notice condensation, or what looks like spit, falling out the end of your horn onto the ground. It may seem disgusting, but don't worry. It's just condensation.
It's pretty disgusting.
It is. And last but not least, you can put your horn back in the case, and you should be all set to go.
Is this piece up top supposed to fall out?
It should not fall out.
Well,
I'd recommend not touching it for now, but it's the tuning slide at the top. And by changing it, you're going to change how your instrument sounds, sharp, flat, or in tune. But we'll talk about that at another time. Now let's move on to making our first sounds. We're going to discuss our embouchure for today. So the embouchure is what we're going to use with our mouth and the cavity in the inside to make a sound on the instrument.
So is it another name for the mouthpiece?
No, it is not. It is physically on our body. It is what we do to make a sound.
So we create it?
Yes.
Okay.
The embouchure is created by us.
Okay.
So, first things first, let's forget about the mouthpiece. And let's talk about what we need to do. So there's a couple things we need to think about. First, let's sit up straight because we're going to need breath support later. It's just a good starting point. Next, I want you to think of going, like dinner time, like, bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah, bacon's good.
Bacon.
There we go. And now, so if you notice, you have the lips together. The corners are slightly pulled back, but they're not strenuous.
I'm so sorry. I was lost on bacon.
That's understandable. Bacon's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
So we got the corners back, right?
Oh, okay.
The corners are back, like There we go. We're going to have a flat chin. Now, by flat chin, if you want to put your hand, just 4 fingers like this, you can put it up against it and you can feel it. Don't scrunch it all the way up. We don't need that, but just a nice flat chin, pulled back corners, and a loose jaw. Think about having a jawbreaker on the inside of your mouth, so your teeth aren't touching, and it's a nice, full, open cavity on the inside of your mouth. Yeah, and then keep the corners pulled back just a little bit. There we go. Great. Now when we play, we're going to buzz our lips, and our tongue is going to do one thing. It's going to make, can you make this sound for me? Two.
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 Good. That's the sound we make when starting a note. So when we make our first sound, we go two, and our lips will buzz into the mouthpiece.
Can you show me?
I can. Go ahead and try it, Zach. Yeah, so we had a couple problems there. It was a good try, though. So we want to make sure the lips are buzzing faster, and we're providing more air to the instrument. So go ahead and try that. There we go. That was much better. So now let's try doing it for 4 beats, and we're going to hold it on whatever note you you end up hitting, we're just going to hold it for 4 notes. 4 beats. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I didn't make it even close.
You didn't make it. So, what are a couple of things we discussed already that might help with that? What am I doing?
Buzzing lips better. Sit up straight.
Yep. And
do I need to breathe different?
Yeah, what about where you breathe? Where are you feeling it right now?
I'm feeling it like
in your chest up here?
Yeah. I'm feeling up like, I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm. So don't think about breathing low necessarily, but think about breathing everywhere. We want a nice, deep, full breath from the waist, the shoulders, the chest, all of it. And think about it as if you're yawning. A nice, full, deep breath. Like, okay. Yeah, don't be afraid to take a really big breath for it.
Okay.
Here we go. Same thing.
How should I hold the mouthpiece?
So we're going to hold it with 2 fingers, the thumb on the bottom, index finger on top. And we're going to gently place it against our mouth. We don't want to smack it in there. Here we go. 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. There we go. And now we have created our first sounds with an embouchure. Moving on from the embouchure, let's take the mouthpiece and place it back in the trombone. This is going to get us our first note on the trombone. So let's lift up our instruments, feet flat on the floor, sit tall, lift it up, and place it gently on your mouth. Now the first note we're going to play is a B flat. This is in first position of the slides, which means the slide is all the way in, just like this.
So not first as in like the first one you slide to.
No. First position is all the way in.
Okay.
It has not moved yet.
Okay.
And all we're going to do is we are going to buzz, just like we did with the embouchure lesson.
Okay.
So let's just try it. I'm going to go first, then you go. Now that wasn't the same note as mine, was it?
No.
No. That was an F, which is also in that spot, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is try buzzing your lips a little bit slower and play a B flat, like I just did. Good. There you go. That was it.
Okay.
Now let's play it together for 4 beats. I'll give us 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good job. Let's move on to our second note, which is going to be going up the scale. If you guys want to check in with us and see what we're going to play, feel free to turn to page 6 in Essential Elements and look at Notes at Review on the top of the page. We started with the B flat and are now going to move on to C. So we go from first position to 6th position for C.
Even though it's the second note?
Yes.
Okay, 6th.
So 6th position for C. And let's hear it. So we're going to go from B flat to C.
Is this about right? How far should it be?
That is just about right.
At fingertips?
Yeah, a little bit in from there. Not too much, though. So here's your B flat, right? And here's your C. That's it. Now try and make it so that you don't slide in between them, but it's 2 distinct notes.
How do I do that?
You're going to need to move your slide a little bit faster while you're not buzzing into the mouthpiece.
Do I also use that 2 thing again?
Yes. You're going to articulate with 2 every time you start a new note.
Okay.
So it'll be 2, 2, 3, 4. 2 when you change to C.
Okay.
You'll hear it because you'll hear a distinct start of each note.
Okay.
So let's try playing that together now.
Together.
4 counts on each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Let's move on to the next note, which will be D. Going from C in 6th position will lead us to D in 4th. A good way of thinking about this early, I don't want you to use this as a crutch, but I want you to generally, you can look at your thumb, and if you just touch it against the bell, that's about where your fingers should be when you're playing in 4th position. Good, and nice adjustment. So now, let's move from B flat and work our way up to D.
How long?
Let's do 2 beats on each one.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Let's try that one more time. And going back, think about our embouchure. Think about having pulled back corners a little bit, a flat chin, a loose jaw, and a big jawbreaker-like cavity on the inside.
But don't smile, right?
Don't smile. Just keep it pulled back in the corners.
Okay.
One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was better. It'll take some time, but we'll get there. All right. So our 4th note is going to be E flat. Now E flat is going to be in your 3rd position. Now the opposite of the 4, like we said with the thumb, your fingers should be almost in line, these index fingers now, with the bell. So previously 4 was about here. Position 3 is about here. A little bit farther back beyond that. I'll do it, and then you try. I will try that one more time. Great. Now let's try it from B flat, working our way up. 2 notes on each one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. And last but not least, we have F. F is back in your 1st position, just like the B flat, but the difference is how fast we use our air and how fast we buzz our lips.
So like how I played it the first time.
Yes.
Okay.
So we need what? Do we need faster or slower air?
Faster for the F, slower for the B flat.
Because the F is higher. Yes. So here it is. Here's the B flat. Good. Let's work up from the B flat. Same thing, 2 counts on each.
This is kind of notes in review.
It is. We are now going to play notes in review on page 6 of Essential Elements.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Great. And if you wanted a challenging exercise at the end, feel free to work up and down, starting on the B flat or the F.
Could you show me?
We can. Why don't we do it together?
Okay.
Here we go. On the B flat, we're going to go up and down. 2 counts on each. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great job, Zach.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in today, and thanks for spending time with us on learning the trombone.
Can we do one more piece?
Sorry, that's all time we got.
All right.
I'm Mr. D, and
I'm
this
Zach.
is Zach. Thanks for student. Good news, Zach. My kid just called, and he got into the musical, so he's going to be staying at school for a rehearsal.
Yes.
That means we can do that extra song you wanted to work on.
Yes.
So how about we go back to page 6, and let's play number 14, Rolling Along.
So what is that? It starts on a D, which is 4th position.
Good. Yes.
Okay.
Now, looking through your notes, these are all the notes that we previously played in Notes in Review.
What's that? Have we done that yet? It goes from a D to an F.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question. So, in music, notes can jump. Previously, we did everything in an order. B flat, C, D, E flat, F. But sometimes they jump around. So let's take a second and look at that. If you're wondering where we are, this is page 6, number 14, Rolling Along, in the 4th measure. It starts on a D, which we said is what? What position?
4th.
4th, good. And we move to what?
6th with a C.
No, look again. Try again.
No. Oh, in that measure. Oh, I was looking at the beginning.
Mhm.
So we start on there. It's the F, which is first position but faster.
Yes. So faster buzz, faster air.
Okay.
So let's sing it once. Just sing. You don't worry about pitches, but just 4, 1, 1. 1,
4,
2, 3, 4.
4, 1, 1.
Good. A good exercise, which we will do now, is to walk yourself through all of the positions before you play the song. So we're going to sing through the positions once, and then we will play the piece once and call it out.
Can we actually sing it?
We can. Here is our first note. There we go.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 6, 1, 6, 4, 4, 4. 6, 6, 6, rest. 4, 1, 1, rest. 4, 6, 1, 6, 4, 4, 4, rest. 6, 6, 4, 6, 1, rest, rest, rest.
Great job, Zach.
Okay.
Now that we've gone over it, let's try playing it.
Okay.
Here we go.
Together?
Yep, together.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4. Why don't we try that again?
Air kept like rushing out of my mouth and I couldn't get the
Mhm.
buzz. What's that called?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Like air kept slipping through my mouth as if I couldn't like stop it.
I would say it's just part of a leak.
Oh,
So
okay.
a couple things that you could check out. One, go back to making sure your lips are closed.
Okay.
Corners back. Your teeth aren't touching.
So still teeth
Mhm.
open, lips closed.
And part of that could be caused because you don't have the muscles yet and your lip isn't all vibrating at the same frequency.
Okay.
So some of it may be higher pitch or lower
But
pitch.
keep the corners back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. All right. So let's try that
But
one
don't
more time.
smile. I struggle with that.
Here we go. Beginning of number 14, rolling along. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great job, Zach. That was a lot better than when we first started.
First line was tough, but second line got a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, well, I think that's all we have time for today. My kid's rehearsal is over for the musical, so I gotta go pick
Wow,
him
he
up.
must have a small role.
He does. He plays the tree,
Oh, I was the tree?
but it's an important tree.
It's a very